whenever you say that like lawyers will get in trouble I feel like as long as the lawyer and the client are on the same page, who is finding out?
ABC, you did a number on my baby. Them Thursdays.
Not just ABC, just Shonda Rhimes.
Cardi got that moose knuckle. That was.
She got a
that shit like it was
a big old beaver on her.
She got the claw on her. She looked like it's gonna grab you up.
That's why Offset is over here just. Ah!
How do you feel good about being American when your president is talking about annexing a sovereign nation? Like that doesn't even make sense to me. She tried to frame this as fraud or some type of waste. So if you think that it's a scam because it was going to gay people, salute. You're just a homophobe. But
you are.
Yeah. I'm just saying. But if you're and to see where we okay with like the outright like spreading of celebrity. No, it's insane. Like the way that we're so comfortable with celebrities and people like spreading their ass for even politicians at this point now. Stephen A. Again, with us being journalists, so I'm always gonna, be on the side of free speech and making sure that our words are protected. You coming up to try to threaten him or try to be hostile with him, bro, that's lame as hell. That is, yeah. That's lame. And I put LeBron James top 5 black men.
You like this person because it's this person. You're a pansexual. Very simply put. Like you like her because of her personality of what makes her her.
But it doesn't.
That's exactly what that is.
It don't sound like she gonna run from the though. Like that's not the way that she explained it. It just seemed like the that's coming for her is she don't want.
Things are being just attached to this lawsuit that's taking away from the validity of the lawsuit itself.
Yeah, like when the people putting in the documents that Buddy oiled himself up and was like he was trying to do a slip and slide. Yeah. Like, come on, like how am I supposed to take that seriously? How am I supposed to think about Druski oiling his fat body up
and then trying to slide over anything? I've been looking at this video from every single angle I could find it. At first, I thought she definitely beat her upside the head. I was like, that is crazy.
I understand why, if you think she's not attractive, that then you care.
Yeah, that she doesn't want men.
That was
straight men.
That was the weird thing to me.
Because straight men do not want to not be the object of desire. Call back to what I said before, men being bad bitches now.
This is the thing, okay? So with these bell hookian type women, and this is, God. I'm just telling you, that's what she is.
This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
Your whole life is revolved around talking about other people's lives.
What the fuck do you think your ass is doing on that podcast now?
The recipes are gone. I just think that needs to just be stated. Like, I had an experience today that
we
did. Okay, you're right. We had an experience.
I was there.
Were you? I'm just like, we had experience today. I just feel like it was funny. I don't even think it's like nothing to even be like, it's a shame. It's just funny to see. So we went to go get her oil change, and generally when you go to places like this, you're going to think you're going to see a certain group of people, a certain style of people.
We pulled up to the Valvoline and it was all studs. It was the Valvoline ran by studs.
It was a studvoline. And it was great. So first I thought it was just one. It was like, all right, you usually got one that's going to do the little clicks. And
no, it was all studs.
Everywhere. The whole vehicle. They studded up the vehicle.
And then it was actually the most efficient oil change I've ever had in my life.
I ain't gonna lie, you're right. It was we was in and out.
They were communicating with each other. Mm-hmm. Like they were like on other sides of the car, like yelling things to each other. I was like, man.
They had their stud hand signs to each other.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It was. I'm trying to tell you, it was something to see. But it also made sense to me why the chicken don't hit the same way like it used to. Shawty outside now. She out there changing oil and tires.
Strapoline. I was waiting for a moment to put that in.
No, but I mean, just to see the coordination, it was just funny just to see that kind of view. I mean, I haven't seen that in a minute, like the female mechanic.
The men are out here podcasting and being bad bitches, especially in Atlanta.
That's hate.
These niggas is wearing leggings.
Nah,
and
it's
they
still
think they the prize.
Nah, it's still niggas tatted up. You know what I'm saying? Changing the oil and getting it done. It's just few. It's not. It's just more studs and more people actually kind of getting into it because the cars have gotten so simple that it really doesn't take too much. Bro, these niggas can walk underneath the car. Like if anybody could do that, anybody could change the oil.
Bro, we rolled up and then she came out. I was like, not a stud. And then another one came out. It was like they just kept
It was a tactical
appearing
force.
out of nowhere. I was like, oh shit.
They was everywhere.
These are all studs.
It was like no man. It was like the mascara of car construction of mechanics.
It was really funny.
Oh man, but no, I appreciate it. They did a good job for us. All right.
After Mac Miller died, there's no more white rappers. That's it. Yeah, it's
He
done.
took them. He took all the power.
It's clip.
He took all the power with him.
No more new ones. The ones that are alive can still continue to do their thing, but no more new ones.
You
After
like-
Mac Miller,
You liked Ian. I played the Ian song. You was letting. You said
I
that shit
thought
was
you was
slap.
about to say Jack Harlow because that would have been a more solid.
I didn't think you would like Jack Harlow because Jack Harlow is just Diet Drake. So
No, I like Jack Harlow. I like Jack Harlow
he's
a
white.
long time ago.
Okay, so he's white. I got you. Salute.
I actually put all of my friends onto Jack Harlow.
That's unfortunate for them.
Oh my God.
All right, you're now listening
Hater.
to Talk FNF TV. I'm your host, Absurd Rhetoric, and I'm with my lovely and amazing and gorgeous co-host, Farrah.
Hi guys.
You are too excited. You are too excited.
For the non-viewing listeners, I got a bob. I'm doing the bob dance.
And for the people watching, they are like, "What's wrong with her? Is she spazzing?" They think there's something going on with you.
Isn't spaz like technically a
A slur now or whatever.
non-PC term?
Yeah, it's a non-PC term, but we're going to keep it alive.
We say the R word on here 17 times a episode.
I mean, we restoring the feeling.
We like I said that last episode that we need to stop saying that as much.
I'm just saying we restoring. You say
I'm
more
worse,
than me.
though.
Yeah.
Nah, I was about to say that.
You were way worse than me.
Yeah.
But we restoring the feeling, so I don't know what you want from us. I'm sorry.
I feel like if you're from New York, then you should get more leeway into to try to stop saying retarded.
They're not giving you no leeway. You just got to thug it out. But going into people who are not getting leeway right now. Some new names have been added to the Diddy case. So
It's never ending.
it just seems like now, I guess we'll get into it before I get before. Let's just tell people what occurred. So Druski and Odell Beckham were named in recent documents. I think this lady was named Ashley Parham. I believe that's how it is. Ashley Parham. And it was two other Jane Does. And they added to this. It was a list, actually a long list of defendants on it.
Was there?
Yeah, I mean, hold on, I got it right here. But it was like, it had Jaguar right on there. It had Druski, Odell Beckham were the most notable people that were on there.
Yeah, those are the two that I saw, and I feel like everyone else probably. But in the lawsuit, it said defendant Druski caught himself from sliding over plaintiff's oiled body and off the bed. He then began R-wording plaintiff vaginally. While defendant Druski was R-rating plaintiff. I'm sorry, I can read, I promise. Defendant Diddy sat in a chair near the bed and began pleasuring himself while recording plaintiff's R-word by defendant Druski.
Yeah, then they said Odell came up next and Diddy kept watching. But then it goes into like some details about like a fight happened afterwards and like a neighbor came over. So I mean, it's a lot. I mean, people should check it out and definitely give it a read. Again, I don't want to. This goes back to the Jay-Z situation for me because again, I don't ever want to come here and see like I'm being a bad faith interpreter of someone coming out and saying they were a victim of anything. But
it feels like just a lot of things are being just attached to this lawsuit that's taking away from the validity of the lawsuit itself.
Yeah, like when the people putting in the documents that Buddy oiled himself up and was like he was trying to do a slip and slide.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like how am I supposed to take that seriously? How am I supposed to think about Druski oiling his fat body up?
And then trying to slide over anything.
Anything.
And then it said that the defendant tried to grab their phone, but they were too oily, so it slipped out of their hand.
Like, this is a movie?
What cartoon? Like, it seems like a very cartoonish scene of just like things slipping and sliding and fat people and like, I don't know.
And is there even enough oil to get on Druski?
Diddy had enough oil. Yeah. If anybody had enough oil to oil Druski down, it was Diddy.
That's a lot of oil for a slip and slide.
That is the only thing that checks out.
That's enough oil. That's like enough oil to start a world war.
So did you see what it said about Odell Beckham? Because I didn't find any like of the actual.
The only thing I saw where Odell was involved in, they said that after Druski did his thing, he came up next. And
it was like a
it was a ring.
It was sorry.
You okay?
Hiccups. It was a gang R word.
Yeah, it was a gang grape, but
So
both of them.
I'm sorry. Let me drink some water.
Both of them have vehemently denied these allegations, to the point of Druski even saying in 2018, when these acts have been alleged to have occurred, he wasn't even famous yet.
Yeah, he said, this allegation is a fabricated lie. I wasn't a public figure in 2018. I was broke, living with my mom without any connections to the entertainment industry at the time of this allegation. So the inclusion of my name is truly outlandish. My heart breaks for actual victims of abuse, but I'm fully confident that the evidence will expose this falsehood and individuals who are maliciously trying to gain the legal system to peddle false narratives. So Druski was like, I wasn't even famous.
Yeah. And Odell did the same thing. He wrote similar statement regarding that. Mm-hmm. I think that what's kind of we got to get into is that potentially we may be seeing the part of this where a lot of the victims who are really have authenticity have been paid out and settled already. And now we're just putting out information so that we can make these men look like, oh, everybody was lying. Mm-hmm. And that's what it feels like now, even with the Jay-Z thing that was going on with him and Busby. Then you get
that was crazy.
Even when you go back to the Lil Rod, like even the Lil Rod statements, a lot of that comes to me and feels like, okay, we're putting people out here and we're giving these blogs this information and these court documents, even though they're like, not even have any credibility to them, just so it makes everybody and everything look like, okay, now we got to look at everything twice. Because if people are coming out saying Druski's being a slip and slide.
Yeah, and then they attached Jay-Z, and that wasn't even a thing that's true that we know now. I feel like I saw that point a couple times on the internet that this is a tactic of Diddy's lawyers.
Yeah, a disinformation campaign.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but it's a mess. Like I want this trial to start and end, and I want Diddy to be locked up already. And whoever was on his team, accompanying him, being his accomplice. That's what I meant. Oh, okay. Whoever was his accomplice, they need to be thrown in jail too. And I'm over it.
See, a lot of this comes to me. I think about this video that had Whack 100, and they were listening to a phone call. Diddy was having a jail call he was having with his sons, and they remember him telling him like, "Don't forget to throw away the pizza boxes." And so like I'm just thinking about the code that was being expressed there. Like obviously he's telling him something that he doesn't want the authorities to be
tapes.
Again, I don't know if it's the tapes. My thing is, when you have something like that going on, it's to me doesn't come off far-fetched. Because he even spoke about Jay, how he spoke to Jay. They said that in the phone call too. It seems like it would be a good idea to put out, these erroneous claims so that our names can look clearer farther on down the line. So that when people remember this, they remember all of these big conversations that happened. Mm-hmm. Oh, him and Stevie J, and how outrageous that sound. The things that were going on with, like I said, a young lady and Jay-Z, and just how that just so far fetched that the father doesn't even remember. Like those things resonate and stay in your brain a lot longer than him settling for $30 million and that was quick and over with. There's another people he was selling. There's plenty of people that he has settled with so far.
It's less sensational news when he settles versus like when there's some crazy story that came out.
Yeah, and those stories, like I said, can take away from the authenticity of the people from the front. So like not even just the Cassies, because obviously we have video to substantiate that. But you also have, just the other people. I don't want to get in too far in all the names and all that stuff that's going on because it's a whole bunch.
It's a long list of names.
But there has been people that have already settled with him. And like I said, that is a way to turn. Because like I said, this case isn't over with. He's still in jail. It's still going to have to go to trial. And you want the jury to potentially have much reasonable doubt as possible And like I said, this is just all part of a campaign. I'm pretty sure he's like spending like his life savings doing this right now.
He's probably, I would spend as much money as I could to get me out of jail too. So yeah.
So I hate to see that the black men that have to go down regarding this. I hope that, you know what I'm saying, like they're not involved, because that would be sick. Like to put your name in the mud just to be like, oh no, don't worry, we'll clean it up and make sure it's not, you know, authenticated, and there's no validity to these allegations, and everybody look at you like, oh, look at them just trying to lie on them and take them down. I hope that's not, because that's sick. But we live in a world right now where that's not as far-fetched.
There's always a group of dudes that are like, oh, they're trying to take down the black man, and blah, blah, blah.
My thing is not even trying to take down the black man. I'm talking more to the fact of Diddy telling these guys like, hey, I'm going to put your names in. I'm going to tell them to put your names in these documents so that you can then say, hey, this is no way this can happen.
Oh, that's what you meant. I misunderstood.
That's what I hope they're not actively being a part of this. You know what I'm saying? Where they know Diddy is, hey, I'm gonna send you some cash, send you some, because Odell ain't playing, so some money would be really good for him from Diddy right now. Druski has a lot of reason to get cachet and, you know, getting put in certain positions because of what Diddy can do. So I'm not mad at that either.
I don't know. I feel like it's not a good move for
Druski. It's stupid.
If what we're alleging is actually happening, because he's a rising star. He has brand deals on brand deals, and it's only a matter of time before he's like a household name.
I'm not going to lie though. Getting charged or being accused of sexual assault is a horrible thing in regards to like your credibility and name, but then being able to show that you were actually innocent and that these claims have no validity is a bigger push and a better check mark to your name than anything else, because people will remember that. People be like, oh, they because I even to this day, I remember when they tried to lie on Bieber, and Bieber's team put out everywhere he was during the time where they alleged this occurred and all this stuff.
I don't remember Bieber being accused of anything.
Yeah, it was a woman, because they put out all that information so fast that it made it so that nobody, there was no reason to believe it. Yeah, there was no reason anybody could believe it. But no, they had went down, and she was like, oh, this happened this month. He said, no, Bieber was here. We have his tour. We have whatever, you know, here's photos of him during this time, all that stuff. Like, it was crazy how fast that happened. But like I said, it to your core fan base and to the people who care about you, that resonates a lot more, because now you feel like there's an enemy trying to take my person down. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it could be, I could convince somebody to pull some shit like this off. I think so. But maybe I'm just nefarious like that.
Yeah, like you think you are the king of manipulators.
I don't think that's manipulation. I think you can spin that into a way that it feels like both people win.
Manipulation.
That's not manipulation if it's true. Manipulation is if I don't think you can win, but I tell you that there's a way that you can win in this, knowing that more than likely won't happen. That's manipulation.
We'll see what happens with this though. I feel like both of them are probably just gonna prove that they weren't part of this, and then it'll make this whole thing just less valid.
Yeah, I can imagine that. The only thing that kind of takes a little bit of credibility away from that would be the lawyers, because you can be disbarred from that. Putting in allegations that you know are not true into the court. So that's the only reason you're like, okay, maybe that's not what's happening, because why would you want to be disbarred for even what these niggas could pay?
I come from the thought, what am I trying to thought?
The thought process?
Yeah, no, like the
thinking?
Yeah, the thought process, I guess I'll say. I come from the thought process of like Shondaland, right? So when you say that lawyers doing bad things will lead to them getting disbarred, it doesn't click in my head, because Annalise was getting her shit off.
But she had more of she was connected to the crime a lot closer than these people are.
But that not every crime.
I'm just
not
saying.
For every season. For the first one, yeah. But Scandal. She was getting, all of the lawyers in Scandal was getting they shit off. So whenever you say that like lawyers will get in trouble for, as I feel like as long as the lawyer and the client are on the same page, who is finding out?
ABC, you did a number on my baby. Them Thursdays.
Not just ABC, just Shonda Rhimes. Don't give ABC the organization the credit. Okay, it was Shonda.
Shonda, you didn't destroy my little baby brain with your your black woman conspiracy theories.
I'm like, what do you mean lawyers get in trouble for things?
I'm surprised you just end up marrying a white man, or maybe that's what you think of me. Shonda Rhimes. Okay. You didn't want to like. Oh, they never want to laugh like that. Oh. Yeah.
She does do that a lot. I've said that on the show. Like she needs.
So you should have laughed. So I'm just.
No, I just don't think your joke was funny.
That's hate. All right. Was anything else we need to touch on with this? Any other?
No, that was it.
Okay.
I didn't have any other points I wanted to make.
All right. So did you see what happened with LeBron James and Stephen A?
I heard about it. Yeah.
So if y'all didn't see what's going on, I'm pretty sure it's been like a week from now. But I want to get into what Stephen A recently just did. LeBron checked Stephen A regarding some of the conversations he was having on his show about what he said. He claims like, hey, leave my son out of this. He then goes on the next day, he's playing, and he talks to Richard Jefferson, a former teammate who's on ESPN. And some people are able to get the voice, recording of what they were said. He said this in front of the cameras, but they wasn't talking on ESPN. And basically he said something about Stephen A. He was like, man, just once he did that dad stuff, I couldn't, and Stephen A. was saying that kind of directly conflicted with what was said on the court. So I'm going to play with that
dad stuff.
Basically saying like in the part of Stephen A.'s overall criticism was like, bro, you his dad and you the one who put him in this predicament to fail at the scale that he was failing in that game. Because Bronny had a really bad game. He like played really early in the game. It wasn't like a blowout or nothing. He got real minutes against a real team and got exposed. So Stephen A. was just being honest, doing his job. Like, hey, bro, your son got his ass kicked and it's largely because of you. And LeBron didn't take too kindly to that. And that's why he checked him in front of everybody at the Lakers game.
Oh, in front of everybody?
Yeah, he walked right up to him in front of the Lakers game and during the timeout and said all this to him. He checked him.
Could you hear him or could you see what he was saying?
You couldn't really make it out. It was more people like who caught it was mostly like the fans.
Okay.
It wasn't really like, it was a timeout. So, usually they're on commercial during the timeout or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it was the fans who caught the experience, and then he had to talk about it on the show. He actually went in.
Stephen A. commentates on the Lakers game. He's like there at the games.
No, he's not commentating. Was just at the game because they were playing the Knicks. So that's his team or whatever. So he was just in LA like, I'm just enjoying the game.
Okay, so he was just like in the crowd on the sidelines?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was on the floor. And so I want to pull up because Stephen A. was recently on Gil's Arena. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to just get him on there. Really, it was to discuss what him and one of the co-hosts, their kind of beef. But because of what was going on with, LeBron and him, that became center stage. So I'm going to play a little bit of what was said during that episode. Y'all tap in with Gil's Arena.
You had called me and said, Bron pissed off. Motherfucker mad as hell. He want to see you man to man. I said, what would I have done? Rich Paul said, you'd have hung up the phone and you'd have flew to LA. I said, thank you. So my point is, rather than come up to me at courtside, all you had to do was say, yo, I need you to stay. Don't leave this game. I need you to see you after the game. That's all he had to say to me. Mm-hmm. Then as we speak, he says that. Let's take an example. He said what you just said. Yeah. I stand down. My bad. And not only that, I'm going to make sure I go on the air. I ain't look at it that way. That's on me. You didn't do that shit. You said you fucking with my son. No, I wasn't. I was talking about you. I was talking about you. Wasn't about your son. I know he's number 55. I know he got work to do. Whew. I believe that he got potential. Yeah. I believe that he got the potential to go pro. I truly believe that. It's going to be tough, but I think he could pull it off. And by the way, I'm rooting for him. I ain't rooting against nobody. But I was talking about your ass. Mm. You did this. Mm-hmm. You the one that had us as reporters, as a league, as an NBA franchise. All of us got to sit back and be quiet and capitulate to your shit.
Come on now.
You did that. And so when I see people talking, and I'm like, oh my God, can somebody? I mean, I know I got a show, and I know I got my podcast, but I'm like, God damn, y'all, I'm fair. I don't give a fuck who it is. It's you. It don't matter who it is. Damn it, I'm just meeting you. If somebody unfair to you, I'm going to be like, that's not fair. That's not fair. But when it come to me, everybody get crickets. That motherfucker Stephen A. on his own. That, respectfully, excuse my language, that's fucked up. I'm on my own. When number one, we know I'm right. Number two, we know the perspective that I'm coming from is real and it's authentic. Number three, he set this up. Number four, All you had to do was tell me. Listen, Kenya told me, you keep talking about, I'm bringing this up for all fun. He talked about how he approached me in Puerto Rico. I swear to God, I don't remember. I swear to God.
Probably.
But I know this much.
But you do.
And let me tell you what I did. I was writing for the Philadelphia Inquirer. This is from 1993 to 2010. Shit, I said, when the fuck he talking about? I called Philadelphia Inquirer. I said, I called
So
my
he just goes into more about his, history and how he would go and find
cut it off at the
information.
perfect time because I was zoning out.
But no, I really agree with Stephen A. in this regard, because out of all the people in the media industry, they keep it above board. Like a lot of the times with the sports media that people I think have criticism with, ESPN for the large part, these guys may make outlandish claims and they'll talk about stuff, but for the most part, a lot of the good ones, they keep it about the game. And that's all Stephen A's criticism has been about. And when you put your son in the light to say, you're about to be a Los Angeles Laker, you're going to be my teammate, you can't sit there and be like, oh, don't talk about my son, leave my son out of it.
How was he talking about his son?
All he was saying was, like I just explained earlier, where he was not ready for that moment and that he basically could have, destroyed his confidence, like, things like that. He was basically explaining to him, like, bro, you put him in this position to fail and you're not protecting him. Like, he should only be playing, like, in Stephen A's opinion, he should only be playing G League games.
Has Stephen A been like going in like every
No.
chance he gets,
That's
like
what
every episode?
He actually talks about it, and that's what I should check out the Gills Arena episode he was on. He talks about how, like, he did not want to talk about Bronny. But when you put your son in the first quarter of a game against a team they're not good, but they have names. They got Paul George, they got Tyrese Maxey. It was the Sixers.
Okay.
So when you put them against somebody that has legit names, people who've been all-stars, and he goes out there and gets cooked, there's going to be a discussion about, hey, this guy shouldn't be here on the court right now. Mm-hmm. Even though he's been playing really good in the G League, he's been having really good numbers. Granted, there could be some incentive to make sure that he's looking good with his teammates and things of that nature, but I won't get into all that.
Have LeBron
He played
check
bad.
you too.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, he was playing bad. And Stephen A, again, with us being journalists, so I'm always gonna, be on the side of free speech and making sure that our words are protected. You coming up to try to threaten him or try to be hostile with him, bro, that's lame as hell.
That is, yeah.
That's lame. And I put LeBron James top 5 black men. So that doesn't change just because of this moment. But you did this, like he just said. You the one who did this. You tweeted. He tweeted that LeBron was better than half the league.
LeBron?
He said, yeah, LeBron. He tweeted. He deleted it, but he tweeted that. And this was before the heart attack.
That's your son.
Of course, but it was before the heart attack and everything. It was before all that stuff. My seed is
better than y'all.
It was before all the heart attack and all that stuff, but you put that pressure on him. So then you can't be mad when people are having, I think, softball conversations about the kid. Because I would be going crazy.
Because if Steven's not going in, if he's not discussing him every chance he gets, if he's not being disrespectful, if he's not punching down on the boy, he's just doing his job, then yeah, that's part of being an athlete. There's going to be sports journalists that are going to critique your performance when you perform well or badly.
And I'll argue all the stuff that you said that he's not doing, that's part of it too. Especially when you playing on one of the biggest franchises in your league.
Yeah.
It ain't like he somewhere in Utah, or, you know what I'm saying, playing a team that nobody's looking at. This is the Lakers. Y'all play every night. So if you're either on the bench, you're in the game at times, that's going to get bigger publicity than if you were a Cleveland Cavalier or a Charlotte Hornet. Mm-hmm. So Bron got to understand that he can't just be with the lane. I understand he's embarrassed. LeBron is probably embarrassed. He probably feels a little bit of way about how everything has played out, how things have looked.
You think it's ego?
Of course.
Because it doesn't make too much sense as to why he's checking Steven.
He knows that the reason why his son is being criticized is because of him. So
yeah, your son wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for you.
So that's why he kind of takes it as an offense towards himself. And I understand that, but
that's
it's
nobody's
lame.
fault but your own then.
Yeah, you can't get mad at you trying to rig the system in a way, which again, you have all right to do. You've been playing in this league for 20 years.
100%.
You've helped them generate billions of dollars.
I think black people need to rig the system for their children to just be mediocre.
Nasty. It's just nasty when
More.
it's in sports, though.
I'm
like
not
it's
calling
cool.
Bronny mediocre.
I'm just saying it's just nasty when it's in
That's about no
sports.
sports.
That's all. When it's like a desk job or like a bullshit position where you just got to come in and wear a tie, that's different. But when it's sports, you kind of dilute the league a little bit. You kind of make it a little bit of a like a circus more.
Well, let's not say all that because you said Bronny does have promise and he is young and he is amateur basically.
But if he was anybody else's son, he would be lucky to be on a G League team right now. He'd be traveling everywhere they go on a bus, not no plane or anything. He wouldn't be doing only home games. He'd be traveling road games and doing all of that. I think he's doing road games now, but he would not have the road he has now. It would not be painted. Even he was an NBA kid's son, but they just weren't LeBron James. Like the street would not be paved with gold the way it is. Like, I don't think people understand when you get to that sub like basketball pro shit, them is some of the most selfish, me first individuals that you'll ever be around.
What do you mean, like the G League?
Yeah, G League, European League. If you play college ball and you play community college ball, like it's a dog. You have to play against the opponent and your teammates. It's a dog eat dog world. So it wouldn't be people giving the ball to Bronny, letting them put the ball up on. No, nigga, you get down. I got it. I've been here longer. I've been doing this way longer than you.
They trying to get into the league.
Yeah,
as much
I'm
as
trying to get as much touches. I'm trying to get as much tape. And so for him to be able to be in a position where everyone feels like they're incentivized to give you the ball, that's big. So he has to take the good with the bad. You're going to get on a fast track for development. And if you are able to, fill out a little bit, get a little more confident with your shot, you might be a serviceable player. But in that same right, through that process, you are going to be heavily criticized than anybody else who's ever been drafted at your position. Mm-hmm. So
really quickly, while we're on sports, did you see that high school track star?
That's what I have that on here, the assault.
Yeah.
Okay, let me bring that up. So get into that a little bit.
So there was a high school track race, and this video came out, and it looks like, well, let me start over. There was a high school track race, and one of the girls who was running has a concussion and something else. She has like a
fractured skull
from a baton. She was allegedly hit by a baton by another track star. So the other girl, there's a video of it. In the video, it looks like she literally takes the baton and swings it back and just knocks her upside the head like 3 good times. And then the girl who gets hit goes off to the side. I've been looking at this video from every single angle I could find it. At first, I thought she definitely beat her upside the head. I was like, that is crazy. But then I started looking at it more. And then I was like, did her braid get like stuck on the baton, the girl that she hit? And then she was like trying to pull it off. And then I saw more videos and I was like, no. But then I saw one today and then it changed my opinion again. So now I'm kind of thinking that she did not purposefully beat that girl upside the head, because she said that the girl was in front.
I have what she said. So.
Okay, so let's play it.
As feelings. So you're physically hurt, but you're not thinking of my mental, right? They're going off of one angle. A couple times hitting her.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna play that one more time.
Just let it play.
Thinking of my mental, right? They're going off of one angle. A couple times hitting her, my baton got stuck behind her back like this, and it rolled up her back. I lost my balance, and when I pumped my arms again, she got hit. I know my intentions, and I would never hit somebody on purpose. They're assuming my character, calling me ghetto, racist slurs, death threats, all of this just because of a 9-second video.
In the video I saw today, she was explaining it again. And she says the girl was in front of her, and when she was running, her arm kept like hitting the baton. So she says that I don't know how, but she tried to pull it back and then lost her balance and all that, whatever. But then in the other videos, it didn't look like the baton connected. It's just so confusing. Because why would you just start beating this girl upside the head knowing that there are cameras all over the place and everyone can see you?
Cause man, this girl is capping. She was in the heat of the moment. She turned into Tanya Harding and started whacking on this girl head. Yo, like, I don't understand why we trying to act like anything else. You see the fact that her smoke alarm going off. This girl is out here going. She's aggressive.
What does her smoke alarm have to do with her temperament? That has nothing.
Niggas who can't change the smoke alarm. The niggas who can't change the smoke alarm battery. They got short temperament.
As a teenage high school girl, you think she's in charge of changing?
Man, that ain't no excuse, yo. Then we don't need to be talking about track stars. And these just some high school athletes.
Yeah, they're just track runners.
That's even more reason why she probably did it. If she in high school, when you that young, ill temperament, you in the heat of the moment, you and this girl battling for position. Come on, bro. She just lost her cool and whack shawty.
Did you see anything that the other girl said? The girl that got hit? Did she say anything?
I haven't seen anything from that girl.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from her either. Apparently she's fine. She was in the hospital. She's probably out of the hospital by now. I hope she's good.
That's crazy. A fractured skull?
Yeah, but obviously, so the baton hit her head. Are those batons not plastic?
No, they're usually like aluminum. But even
and
then,
they're hollow though, right?
Yeah, they're hollow. That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that she hit her that hard, come on.
Yeah, I'm just so confused as to like how she fractured her skull with that.
She hit this girl crazy hard. Yo. Like she was swinging to hit this girl hard. She was trying, and then you kind of see she really didn't even stop for real.
No, she did it like 3 times,
and then she kept running.
Yeah,
like she stopped. She slowed down. And then she kept running.
Yeah, and the girl who got hit stopped running.
I mean, she was concussed. Like, she was out of it, young.
It's not funny.
Nah, but I hate just that being the example that's getting pushed around because you know the racist trolls are going crazy with this. Mm-hmm. Like she spoke to that you're going to get you a violin, all this other stuff. But I can understand that when you get into this competitive mode, you kind of lose track of who you are. That's just kind of what competing does to you.
Maybe, man.
She got out of her body and she whacked shawty. We need to find out if there's like something, these girls maybe had some beef beforehand. Maybe shawty, like, they was sharing the same dude.
Nah, she was beating that girl in the back of the head with that. But
yeah, she was trying to whoop her ass.
I watch this video and I have a different opinion.
She's trying to whoop that girl ass.
It's so crazy.
She beating her like she stole something. Like she cocked it back all the way behind her head and then tapped her right on her shit. The crown of her shit too.
I'm just like, why?
Track folks are like that though. I'm gonna be honest with you. Track people are aggressive. You would think that a sport like that's not contact, it wouldn't be too much like ego, but it's a lot. Like to kind of make that shit competitive, honestly, or to make that shit fun, you kind of got to have a big ego. You kind of got to be like
track.
Yeah. I come from people who are track. Like you kind of got to have a big ego to perform at a high level with track because of the discipline it requires. And you're doing so much for a small second of time. Like just think of a sprinter. You do years of training for what's going to be a 10-second race. Yeah,
but that's for just sprinters.
I mean, other people is still a small
different distances.
People are running miles in 4 minutes. So
I'm just saying that they're in track. There's more than sprinters.
And what I'm saying is that's a small amount of time for the years of training that you put into it. Your race is only the longest race is probably 15, 16 minutes for a lot of people. The longest races.
If you're not counting long. That's
what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about cross country. I'm talking about track indoor. Mm-hmm. So like most of them races be like 2 miles or whatever, be in track indoor, something like that. So yeah, even then that's still not super crazy.
Let me tell y'all something about my lure. I did track for 2 days in high school. I did, and it wasn't even like official season because all of my friends were in track. So I just went to practice one day with them. This was like a couple weeks before the official season starts. So I'm warming up with them and I'm dying. I'm like about
from the warm up.
I'm about to pass out. And then they're like, okay, time to start workouts. I was like, it's time to start workouts? Workouts haven't already started. Then
you got tired off the stretch.
It wasn't a stretch. And then the next day we're like doing the like little sprints and shit. And then the coach was like, you're not that fast. We're probably gonna put you in like long distance. I never went back.
That's a shame too, because you have a sprinter's body. Like, you just don't have the fast twitch muscles. But
no,
I think
I haven't used my muscles.
you might have. Just we talking about using high school this time. They still developing. But you probably have the fast twitch muscles, but you just didn't develop them.
Let me tell you, there was this one time I was playing football at a cookout. Mm-hmm. And I almost got a touchdown. And I was playing with men.
Oh, I'm sure they wasn't letting you just catch the ball.
But the thing is, I didn't catch it. I don't think I caught it.
They just handed it off to you and let you
I
run?
don't even understand. I don't remember how I got the ball, honestly. I don't think I caught it. I might have, but I'm not even going to give myself that much credit. But I accidentally ran out of bounds with it. I was mad as hell. I was like, ah!
You thought you was doing something? You thought you was doing something? That's crazy.
One of the guys on my team was like, fuck, if you just went this way.
I don't think I've ever seen you actually run before.
No, I don't do that.
Like, ever. Like, I haven't seen, like, even, like, hurry to try to, like, get me something, to pass me something.
No. Listen, when I used to live in New York and I used to miss the train I used to watch the train, I'm not running. You know how embarrassing that is to run?
You just never care about where you're going?
To run with urgency? Ew. No. Absolutely not. I'd rather just be late.
As she says this in a pseudo tracksuit.
I'm never working out in this. It's never seeing the gym. It might.
It's just aesthetics.
It might. I started doing a little 1-2, a little workout once in a while.
All right. You want to get into your girl Doechii?
Sure.
Do you want to wake it up?
Rhetoric hates Doechii.
That's not true.
He hates her. He hates that she's a dark-skinned woman who is successful in the music industry. He doesn't understand why this dark blackety black bitch is a star now.
None of that I've ever said out of my mouth.
That's exactly how he feels.
That's how you interpret how I feel. You just want to project everybody else's like hate towards this woman, and you want to just put it to me because I'm just not. I don't get it.
Let's talk about Doechii though. So what's your deal?
So I think we should just first announce the Billboard Woman of the Year. Congratulations to that.
Yeah. So she got Billboard Woman of the Year this year, and then last year she got like the Rising Star Award. So 2 years ago she got the like Rising Star Award at Billboard. So 2 years later, her getting Woman of the Year makes sense. Tracks. She did the work.
I mean, if you look at it, people have been saying she's been out since 2015.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 10 years now. So I mean, it makes sense that she would be.
She's been grinding for a while now. She used to consistently upload on YouTube. I remember during the pandemic, she used to do a freestyle a day on TikTok and upload that. She used to she was very extremely consistent. There was this one series she did where she on YouTube, she read like The Artist's Way, and then she followed that book in the guideline, and she did all those things, and then obviously it worked for her. So when I see this this whole thing about Doechii being an industry plant and she just popped up out of nowhere, every artist, I'm not going to say every artist, but most artists, you were not with them from the inception of what they were doing. Every artist has fans that were with them from the beginning that can speak to the hard work and the dedication and the consistency that this artist has been putting in for however long they've been putting it in. Just because you just now figured out about this person doesn't mean that they don't have a decade of work behind them that got them to where they're at now. So I think that's really fucking weird when people say that in the first place. Like, she just got here and she didn't do anything to get here before.
I will say this. SZA won it in 2023, man. Seems like TDE has maybe some connections inside her.
TDE has an amazing roster. Like, that's literally it. Absol, Schoolboy, J-Rock, Kendrick. I don't. Is Kendrick still technically on TDE? I don't know. SZA, Doechii, Isaiah Rashad. Like, it's an amazing roster full of like actually talented artists who give a damn about their own artistry. So the whole TDE thing, like, it's because everyone on there is genuinely talented.
So let's go down the list of the women of the year since 2009. So
Yeah.
Beyonce was 2009, Fergie 2010, Taylor Swift 2011, Katy Perry, my girl, 2012. That was a good year. Pink 2013. That's crazy. 2013 Pink.
No, but that's when she was flying around at every award show. She was literally flying around at every show. I think that's around that time. And she had just dropped the album and she was putting on crazy shows.
2014 Taylor Swift again. 2015 Lady Gaga.
So far, only one black woman, Beyonce.
2016 Madonna. 2017 Selena Gomez. 2018 Ariana Grande. 2019 Billie Eilish. 2020 Cardi B.
Finally, another black.
So 21 wasn't there, I guess, because of COVID or whatever,
Probably.
2022 Olivia Rodrigo. 2023 SZA. And last year it was Karol G.
Okay.
So I mean, she kind of fits in that group.
Yeah, she does.
Like, especially when you kind of take into context where everybody was at their particular career, and the fact that Taylor Swift got two that's kind of lit. But
Taylor Swift she dominates. She has her foot on everybody's neck. She's an anomaly.
So let's get into what the other controversy with Doechii was going on. So
she did an interview recently where she was asked what is a red flag in dating, and she said straight men.
And it was funny because everyone's criticism of her were like saying she's ugly and she look like a man and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, then why do you care if she don't want straight man if you think she look ugly? And I think she's a very stunning looking lady. But I don't understand why, if you think she's not attractive, that then
why
care.
You care, yeah, that she doesn't want men.
That was
straight men.
That was the weird thing to me.
Because straight men do not want to not be the object of desire. Call back to what I said before, men being bad bitches now. Like, men want to feel like they the prize. They want to feel like, oh, and I feel like men are offended if you don't want them. And that is a very real thing. You reject a man and he gets offended immediately.
Okay, so yeah, it was a Hot Ones interview. So here it is right here.
What's my biggest dating red flag?
Is it being on the DL?
You're on the right track. I have my answer.
Is it close enough?
You want to guess one more time what would be a red flag for me?
Bad music taste?
Oh, that is a good one.
Because that's one for me.
That is a good one.
Like,
But that's
what
not
do you
what
mean
I
you
put.
don't listen to Michael Jackson? But okay.
Okay. This is a huge red flag for me.
All right. It's so crazy. I was going to say men.
I mean, strike one. You're a man.
Yeah.
And
This is the thing, okay? So with these bell hookian type women, and this is, I'm just telling you, that's what she is. She has a photo where she is promoting the bell hooks. These bell hookian type women, they get into these positions, and the people of yesteryear understood when you did certain things like this.
I'm about to get a tattoo of bell hooks on my back so you can
nut on it.
So you have to look at it while you.
So, like I said, back to these bell hookian women. So the thing about this is, she says this. They like I said, the people of yesteryear understood when you did interviews like this, it was to make you endearing to the people.
That makes you endearing to me.
Yeah, and that's not the people though. You isolate so many people, so many potential
Only
fan
straight
bases.
men.
Again, so many potential fan bases when you do this. Usually on there, you say something like, "Oh, they don't smell good," or like she said, "Tasting music." You try to do
Basic.
something, but you're doing something to relate to the listener. To
Nobody
the person
wants to relate to straight men.
That's not the point. You
Like
want their
what?
money. You want straight men's money. She
Straight
will
men
take that.
are not paying for things
And when you say you're my red flag,
as far as music
of
and
course,
concerts go.
that's not going to help in that statement either.
the girls and the gays.
And like I
are
said here,
funding the things.
the bigger problem with this is that, like I said, these bell hookian women, one of bell hook's biggest criticisms is the fact that she engaged in a certain level of capitalism when she was anti-capitalist. And what it is, what you get a lot of these women who spout off her book notes and they say all of her quotes and things of that nature. But what you understand is y'all don't see yourself as a part of what's going on as well. You don't see that your actions also play a part, and then that you have no accountability in these situations as well. So you will say these things like this. You're a bell hookian woman, right? Bell Hook's last criticism before she died was on who? Beyonce. She criticized Beyonce for the type of feminism that she was spreading that was an over-sexualized version. What does Doechii do on her last award show? Only one naked on stage. So yeah, you're really living up to this person. Oh yeah, it's see, this is what I'm saying. But this is the example of what I'm talking about. When you have to put their feet to the fire, now it's huffing and puffing.
Bro, they were playing a fun game, and then you literally backflipped into feminism.
No, I'm criticizing what's going on there because these things, I just told you, these things are used to get more fans. And then when you do something like that to isolate people, now all this conversation is negative about her instead of it being something that was growing her fan base.
The conversation was going to be negative about her regardless because people don't want to like her. She's a dark-skinned woman who's gaining success. They're going to shit on her regardless of what she says. If she got up there and she was like, I don't like baggy jeans, as that's a red flag, niggas would be upset. I don't like tight jeans, niggas would be upset. I don't like niggas who sleep on their left side, niggas would have been upset.
Of course.
Like, so
no one's saying that no one's would have been upset.
You might as well
you're talking about
isolate the straight men because the girls and the gays are the ones who are supporting you in the first goddamn place.
And we're talking about mitigating the risk. Just because those are the people who are supporting you aren't the people who your investors think are going to support you when they want that album to sell certain amount of numbers. And that's all I'm saying is when you have these folks who identify with a lot of these principles, they don't see that their actions also come into the criticism, especially when they're mainstream. So yes, people are going to look at you and say, hey, you're promoting bell hooks, but then you got your ass on stage shaking all around when that was antithetical to what bell hooks was preaching.
Because black women are not a monolith. You don't have to fit in one box. You can believe in bell hooks and you can spew that all you want. And then you can own your sexuality, especially if you're an artist.
Do you own your hypocrisy then?
And you can own your sexuality and go up there in a little Tom Brown two-piece, which is what she did, and look good as fuck. Like, I don't know why you have to do only one thing. If she either only has to be a whore or she only can quote bell hooks once in a while, like she has to choose one.
What I'm saying
why can't she do both?
Because they're antithetical to each other. They are not.
I don't think they are.
They are. I just literally explained how they were.
Well, I'm disagreeing with you.
So you're disagreeing with the factual information.
It's not factual information.
I'm telling you what bell hooks said.
I'm not talking about.
What are you saying?
She can believe in that.
In what?
And then take the pieces that she wants from it, apply it to whatever she wants to apply it to, and be whoever the fuck she wants to be.
Yeah, and that also comes with a level of criticism in regards to the hypocrisy that comes with that. Because when you're criticizing certain elements and then you actively put yourself in those positions so that you benefit in those positions, you benefit when you put yourself there.
I want to see when she quoted bell hooks in the first
There's
place.
a literal book with her showing the book in her face. Like she's like has.
Yeah, but I want to see the context of what she was saying because I have never seen this video.
There wasn't saying it was
clip
just a selfie.
Or whatever before.
It was a selfie.
It was just a selfie.
With her, with the bell hook.
Get the fuck out of here. This is so stupid.
How's that stupid?
Because she's never even said anything about the woman or her content. She literally just held up. We don't even know if she actually read it.
And again, my criticism has all been through the main point of bell hooking women and what their
You don't even know if she's actually that though, because you've also admitted that you don't know Doechii, you don't watch her interviews, you don't know her personality.
You're right.
And you don't know her artistry.
And I've explained, and I was going to explain to why. Remember, I've been saying there's issues why she has been somebody. I don't understand why I don't want to consume her content, and that was what I've been realizing as I've been seeing more information, trying to consume more information. These were things that I found, and it was like, okay, that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. I think your point is convoluted, and you're working really hard to find a reason when it's just she blackity black and you don't like her.
It has nothing to do with that.
I'm kidding. But I feel like you're really trying so hard to make a reason, and it's not, you didn't eat, and it's not hitting the way you thought it was hitting. And
I know,
that's all I have to say about that.
And honestly, that just proves my bigger point, where when the light comes to you and the shine comes onto that particular group, it never wants to now play out the same way that your criticism does for other people. When we're keeping it in just your words, like we're just saying like what you've advocated for. So,
what are you talking about? What other people have I advocated for that I'm not equating or not giving?
But you said on the show that you would do that. If it's a woman, you're going to lean more to that woman's side.
Yeah, because fuck men.
Okay, then. So that's my point is there's a lack of accountability when you do that.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Salute.
Obviously. There's always going to be a lack of accountability.
But you're not the
when it
bell
comes to
hookian women that I'm describing. I'm talking about bell hookian women in general. And she, to me, plays a personification of that. I don't think that's crazy to assume, especially when she shows the book.
No, I think it is crazy to assume because all you have is her in a picture of a book. That is crazy to assume.
That's what? That do you advocate for somebody when it's a radical feminist book that promotes black women? She's been advocate of promoting black women's success and things of that nature. You don't think that those two things kind of correlate in any kind of capacity?
It's not that crazy. I'll take that back. But I think the fucking point, you took it and you not only ran with it, but you beat her in the back of the head with a baton with it.
That's not what I did, yo.
That's what you did.
I feel like my criticisms is fair on that.
Okay.
I think so. You think
we're not going to keep going?
Do you think this has been deserving? Everything that she's doing, you think just the way that she handled the interview, all of that is a way to profit more, to a way to grow the brand more? That's my thing.
I think with her fan base that it was funny. Her fan base is the girls and the gays.
And I respect that. But my question goes to growing that base. Do you think that helped to grow that base?
If outside of girls and gays, probably not too much.
Okay.
But I don't think that her fan base was going to grow that much outside of that in the first place.
You don't think that showing some type of not aggressiveness towards that group would have been a better choice of words?
I think that her music and her content is not geared towards straight men. So then when she's on press tours and stuff like that, then she's not going to be concerned with trying to get straight men to be part of her fan base.
See, I just think that becomes social media fodder more than it does like substantial
I wish I
gains.
had like
that's what it just feels like.
The stats on like who spends more on music and shit. Because if we had those stats, because I believe it is like buying concert tickets and stuff like that, all that, like it's women who are doing that, buying merch.
Yeah, white people. I mean, women and white people.
Women and white people, yeah. So if she had said white men as a red flag, then that probably would have done more to isolate a fan base that she wants. But you still have white women and the white gays that you can get. So I don't think that she's isolating or limiting her reach at all. I thought it was a funny haha. It obviously went viral. It did because if she said not the same music taste as me, then we would not have seen this video point blank period. It would not have reached anybody. It would have just fell on deaf ears and she would have gotten 0 more listeners. But she said the funny haha, and now whoever thought that was funny is now maybe inching more towards her fan base.
Let me ask you one more question. Do you think the lady who her first answer that was dumb as fuck? Because how would you know if somebody's DL if they're DL?
Because of her song Denialers of River?
Yeah, I know that, but I'm saying to say that's a red flag when dating somebody or meeting somebody, if somebody was to come up to you the way she explained, like, oh, I'm a straight man. Who comes up to you and says, hey, I'm DL? Like, DL is something you find out after the negative action or the cheating has occurred. So I just thought that was a stupid answer.
DL men are a red flag, though.
But you would never know that until after you've been exposed. So that's what I mean. Like, that's just a cheating man at that point.
Yeah.
All right. So last thing before we end on Doechii, I do want to say, shout out to she bringing back the cooch lip. I'm really excited about that. So I don't know where she was at. She looked stunning though.
She was at Paris Fashion Week. I think it was a Schiaparelli show.
So yeah, she went up there and that she had that little beaver out, boy. That shit was all right.
I had to watch that several times.
She had there was a little bit of bush there. I ain't mad at it.
It was a gown. Okay, so the gown is long, flowy, right? And there's a slit literally right in the middle. And I still would like to think, because it was such a like split second, I still would like to think that she had like some nude panties on or something like that.
No.
But it looked like that she just had no panties on whatsoever under a dress that had a full slit up to above your vagina.
Yo, these girls got the beaver out. It's out. There's no hiding it.
Because Cardi...
That happened the same thing with Cardi too.
Same thing happened to Cardi. It looked like she was being carried out the club drunk as shit.
Yeah, I mean, but this one I seen, it was just, her dress was just up and the cooter was
full
beaver.
Lips out.
That monkey was monkeying. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Like if you zoom in, you can see her clitoris.
So
that's really like
I don't want to get colorist allegations, but I do want to compare clit shots. Okay, I do want to just kind of get an idea of maybe who did it the best, who showed the clit off better.
Payback for the dicks.
It's 100%.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
It was, to me, you got a better look at Cardi's, and Cardi got that moose knuckle. That shit was.
She got a
that shit like it was
big old beaver on her.
She got the claw on her. She looked like it's gonna grab you up.
That's why Offset is over here just ah!
But I will say Doechii looked like she got that pincher. Like that thing gonna come get you right up. So right now what I'll do is
watch the show.
Right now the Grippy award is gonna go to Cardi. Right now.
Grippy.
That's what we're gonna give it to right now. Cardi got the Grippy award, but I believe it's because we could see more of it.
Yeah,
like her whole pelvis was out.
Whole ass vagina.
But I appreciate it, man. It's 2008 again, 2006.
Just full frontal vagina. I was genuinely shocked at just how clear as day her pussy was out.
I appreciate us bringing back the clit shots, man. With the white girls used to do it. Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan.
Mm-hmm.
They used to make sure they pulled up, no draws, pussy out. And I'm glad that the
and
sisters,
there's a certain way that you need to get out the car. That's because back in the day, it was always the getting out the car shot.
Out the low sports car.
If you know that you don't have panties on, then why do you not swing both your legs out at once? Girl, why would you put one leg out, vagina out to the world, and then the other leg?
Because that's how you got on the cover of the magazine in the morning. So I was never mad at it during them days. I ain't mad at it now. Shout out to these girls. Now we get better looks. See, we was just getting nipples for a long time. Because I remember JT, she just gave us a little bit of nipple action. And,
Did she?
And I think Glorilla gave us a little bit of nip action too. So and Sexy Red. So
yeah,
now,
Cardi.
Now we getting full camel toe.
I thought we got Cardi's full nipples though.
Oh, Cardi didn't she was a stripper. We didn't got her ass naked. So.
Oh yeah.
But seeing it post all the work and whatnot, still look like it's intact. Everything look like it's still good. So shout out to y'all ladies, man. We got to get into the queer baiting. It's been going on. It's going on. I believe there's some allegations of queer baiting in the WNBA.
Okay.
We got to break it up. Are you familiar with Dejanay Carrollton?
Absolutely not. She's in the WNBA.
Remember when we was talking about the girls who dated each other but they still played in the league with each other? And you said that was hot?
Ooh, the one that was like she should finger her on the court. That's not what I said.
That's insane. Can they just play ball?
No.
So she was on Angel Reese podcast, and this is the off season for the WNBA, so all of them are on their podcast. Mm-hmm. All of them being messy and doing all the tea. But she had this to say, and I thought it was pretty interesting. And I have some greater thoughts about it. We can get into it.
No, Nalissa was your first. I'm not even into girls.
Well, you're Nalissa.
Yeah.
Oh, period.
Yeah, no.
Do guys still try to slide in your DMs?
Of course, they tell me it's a waste.
Really?
You're too pretty. It's a waste to
I hate
be.
that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Guys are you're too pretty to be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, even if I wasn't, it wouldn't be you.
It wouldn't be you, sir.
Ever.
So is she gay?
But I don't even I don't be like, oh, I'm gay. Like I'm not gay. I just like lists.
Oh, period. That's what she said.
I'm serious.
She just likes
I'm so serious.
She's not gay, but she likes Liz. She loves Liz.
I am because I'm with Liz.
So Liz will never have to worry about you going with another girl.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
She ain't got to work with a girl.
No.
Or the guys, but yeah.
No.
Definitely girl.
Look, she's trying to get me in trouble.
No. I don't want you in no trouble. If she's loyal, she loves you, she's in love with you. When did you guys start dating though?
Okay,
because I feel like we're in the season.
So this, to me, this feels a little bit, because I remember hearing about this like in college and stuff, where like the studs will say the girl was like queer baiting, or she was just playing gay, but she really wasn't really about that action, or she just wanted to get her pussy ate by a stud. That's what this feels like. It feel like, because I was reading some stuff too, they were saying like shawty be cashing out on her, like she be spending like big racks on her and all that other stuff, and it seems like in the gay community it looks like she's getting played.
It's what I want to tell y'all, but I can't cut this out real quick. You remember from Love and Hip Hop?
Mm-hmm.
She dating a stud. She be coming in there balling, buying her bags and bags and bags. I'm like, bitch, are you not a straight woman? Like, I've never come across anything about that. Continue.
So
you just bleep her name out.
If you want, okay. But no, my question is do we see this, before we get into my bigger question, do we see this as just like normal queer baiting stuff? Do you feel like this is normal for people to be able to say like, hey, I like this partner, but not actually being labeled as this? Because to me, this feels like a little bit self-hate, no?
Do you know what pansexuality is?
Yeah.
That's literally the definition of pansexuality.
You think that's what she's communicating? She didn't explain this. So
she might not know, because a lot of people don't know what that is. Mm-hmm. Like, other than your regular LGBTQ, not even IA. Like, people don't even know what the IA is for. So, like, I don't think she might not know, even though she identifies with the gay community. She probably doesn't fully know all the ins and outs of it, and does not know that there is a label for what she is experiencing. Like, you like this person because it's this person. You're a pansexual. Very simply put. Like, you like her because of her personality, of what makes her her.
But it doesn't.
That's exactly what that is.
It don't sound like she gonna run from the dick though. Like, that's not the way that she explained it. It just seemed like the dick that's coming for her is dick she don't want. But it don't seem like she running from the dick.
It's just like, she's not. The people that she wants are the people that she wants. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what genitalia they have. Mm-hmm. So she's not running from the dick because there are guys that she don't want. Like, she don't want them niggas.
I just think
it don't matter what they got between them legs. She don't want you because you're not Lex. Lex is what I like. Mm-hmm. She's a Lex sexual. Like, you know?
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this kind of goes to just my bigger conspiracy I've been having. Cause Sha'Carri Richardson recently came out and said she has a boyfriend now. I know historically she has been bisexual.
That is half of the
equation.
Yeah, that's a possibility that she could be with a man. And a lot of bisexual women be ended up with men.
And I'm gonna tell you why.
It's just easier.
I don't think it's just easier. I think it's more.
It is, yeah.
I think there's a position you can get where there's more benefits.
I think a lot of bisexual men end up with women too, because it's just.
I think there's benefit. I don't know about that, but I think because I think a lot of women they get a little turned off when they find out you're bisexual, that you was touching men that way. So I think that doesn't really transition the same way that you're speaking about. But I do think that we are in an era.
A lot of women who are fine with it. Also other bisexual women too.
Yeah, salute. But I think there's I think in the era that we are now, who we have in office, where we see the tide kind of shifting, I think a lot of people find it easier to just kind of go with what the flow is of the era that we're in. The fact that we're leaning so much more right with stuff, that have a lot more criticisms, and people on the right have been vocalized more. I think people are doing it. I think they see that's where the money is. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I'm going to perform now. Because you take into consideration, you seen that happen with Shawty in the UK, right? Who owned the gym, and her gym was supposed to be open for gendered women, and that was including cis and transgender women. Mm-hmm. Now she's coming out and said, oh no, my gym is now just for cisgender women, biological women.
I thought it was the opposite. I thought they found tweets saying that it was only for women, and now she's saying that it's for all all women.
You know, it was originally when she opened it, it was supposed to be for cis and transgender women, and the tweets were saying that. And then she most recently came out with a video saying, "No, my gym is just for women who are cisgender
women." Yeah,
she didn't say that because you know that feels like you're losing when you use that terminology for them. But she was just basically saying biological women. But that's what I'm saying. They don't understand the intricacies of like sex and biology, so they just say these words not actually knowing what they mean. So that's why I mean it seems now it's beneficial financially to be a bigot in a way.
It definitely is. It has been for a while though.
Like I feel like if we came on here and act like we was MAGA people and we sucked like Elon's dick and all that other shit,
we would already be making so much money.
Yeah, we would be like out of here. But I think because of the opinions that we do have, that
and we're both people with morals, we're not gonna just like spew anything that's not that's outside of our viewpoint. I would not be able to sleep.
But I think there's a lot of people that are doing that now. I think there's a lot of folks who are doing the Bruce Jenner shit, like or Caitlyn Jenner shit, where I'm gonna be on the other side, but then I'm gonna be right wing with it.
You know what the thing is with that bitch is so stupid that it makes me purposefully want to misgender and disrespect her. But that will disrespect all of the other trans people that I actually respect. So I have never purposefully misgendered Caitlyn Jenner, even though I think that bitch is stupid. I think that's a dumb bitch.
I just think more people are just looking into that as being more lucrative, and it's unfortunate. But we even spoke to this when we talked about Jess Hilarious, because we said when she was doing her shit, we were surprised, even though we probably shouldn't have been because it's Fox. But we were surprised that happened.
Yeah, because of how much friction she's had with the LGBTQ community. Like she's someone who I think is generally seen as a bigot now.
Yeah. I mean, in that community for sure.
In that community. So I was really surprised that they gave her that because she comes with so much baggage and controversy.
But I think we're in an era now where that controversy is being more accepted. People aren't even listening. Like even when you look at our comments, when we talk about stuff anti to the right, people don't even listen to what we're saying. It just becomes a liberal talking point to them.
Yeah.
Even though like we'll have articles and officials making statements about certain things, when they hear that, it's a war against us and them, and not intelligence leading our decisions,
and not just like a conversation.
And like empathy's not leading anymore.
No,
because again, like folks will get mad about this transgender shit and what you identify as, but it's like, at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, none of this shit is really affecting you. And if someone asks you to call them something, it's not hard to do. It doesn't destroy your day. It doesn't take you out of this world. It doesn't make you, I'm not living your delusion. No, we live in everyone's delusion every day.
You live in every single person's parents' delusion because somebody named the person that.
Yeah.
Like everyone who has a nickname, everyone's like, oh, my name is this, but I go by, like it's not the exact same shit as far as like we're not trying to minimalize the trans experience and like what you feel inside as far as like gender. We're trying to minimalize other people's reactions to just simply changing a pronoun.
Or we're just trying to simplify the understanding of what's going on, because at the end of the day, you have to communicate to the people who's listening, not necessarily the person who's speaking, because they know what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
You got to be able to make sure the people that are listening knows what they need to get out of it. But I just think it sucks because it shows a lot of people just don't have character anymore. Like they don't have it. They don't really stand on it. Like a lot of y'all were just doing this because y'all were scared or y'all wanted to get a bag, and y'all really are assholes and clowns. And I think that needs to be said more. I think we're going to, on our end, try to make sure we kind of expose that and, shit on those people more. I think that would be a good for us, good content for us. Because I think that's where we have to kind of go with it. We have to like challenge the people making these bullshit claims and kind of just weather the storm of the idiot supporters. And I think that's going to take us far in the long run. Because it will always correct back to what the shit we're saying, because our shit is based in like reality, and it's not based in us just making up or reacting to buzzwords. So Gene Hackman, man, have you seen all the stuff that's come out about that? So you know who that is? The actor that got found dead with his wife. You don't know who Gene Hackman is? The nigga was Lex Luthor. Nigga did some dope movies.
I don't be knowing these white people by name. And then he does this like all the time. He just be saying a random white name and then be like, you don't know who that is?
These be
No.
legit whites though. I'm not bringing up like, I'm not pulling whites out my ass.
You know what I'm very proud of, honestly.
You don't feel like there's any legit whites?
No, you can say like a obscure black actor's name and I'll know who that is, but you can say like a A-list white actor's name and I will not know who that is. And I am proud actually of that because I go out of my way to consume black media. Gene Hackman.
Mm-hmm. So I'll just give a little bit of breakdown. So Gene Hackman was found dead with his wife in their, I believe, New Mexico home. Yeah. So they were actually found like by people who were doing like contract work. They did the autopsy and it recently just came out. So everybody was speculating about what was going on because it was Gene was dead, his wife was dead, and one of their dogs was dead. Mm-hmm. And one of the things they also pointed out was that the wife was decaying way more than he was.
This man was old as dirt.
He was like 92, 93. So after the autopsy, it's come to find out that she died from like a virus that people get from like rat shit. It's like it gets into your food or whatever like that. So she died from this like respiratory virus. Apparently she dies and then 7 days later he dies. So he was in the house with her. Granted, he's like 92, senile probably. He's just in the house with her for a whole week and eventually dies as well.
If he's 92 and senile and doesn't realize that his wife is dead in the house, would there not be a caregiver somewhere on the premises or that visits regularly?
I would think she would be the caregiver because she's significantly younger than him. She's like 30 years younger than him. She was 60.
Why would I think that this man was with somebody his age?
Like
my bad.
If you're rich, what am I going to be with an old broad for? That's useless.
My bad.
If I'm getting money, I need to get me something a little bit younger on the scale. You dig? But this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, does he have kids? Yeah. So these niggas ain't called for a whole week. That's crazy.
Everybody doesn't have the same relationship with their parents as you.
But a week?
I go more than a week without talking to my father.
That's insane.
It's not that insane.
Yes, it is. You should talk to your parent at least one. If y'all don't have any bad blood or there's like no beef between y'all should speak at least one time a week. Even if it's through text message.
I'll talk to my dad once a month sometimes.
I'm just saying, when you're an older parent.
It's not, I love him. He's my nigga. He's a great dad. That's just, the nigga don't call me. I don't really call him. That's just not the type of people we are.
What I'm saying is, when you have a parent 90 some years old, nigga, you know the dust coming soon. You should at least be checking once a week.
If my dad is 92, I'm calling him at least every other day. Because
I can imagine that nigga wasn't taking none of his medicine because she probably was the one giving him his medicine. So when she died, his heart just failed out because he wasn't taking his medicines. Because that's what they say, he died from heart disease.
Okay, so she probably passed away and then he just was like, I'm not capable of keeping myself alive anymore.
they still ain't figured out the dog yet. Those coming soon would kill the dog.
Because they had
There's
two other dogs that were.
So apparently this was the weird thing, right? There was a dog in the crate. That dog died. The dog outside of the crate was in the room with her body while it was decaying.
So
that's crazy.
It makes sense that the dog in the crate died because he couldn't walk around and get in the garbage and get something to eat or drink out of the bowl or whatever.
I guess that could happen.
Slowly died in the crate.
We don't know. We don't know when and how he died yet. So
if you don't feed the dog for a week, maybe the dog had medication they had to take too.
That could be true.
We don't know.
That's a crazy way to go.
Yeah.
I think they were actually saying when they were breaking down, because I was reading an article about they were finding her whereabouts because she's the only one really moving around like that. Mm-hmm. So they were breaking down her whereabouts, and I believe she did take that dog to the vet. I don't know if it was for a routine check or they didn't confirm that, but they were saying that she did go.
The dog that was in the crate?
Mm-hmm. So that could be what was going on too with that.
Yeah.
I thought it was been something sinister at first. Because if it's not, when you hear about multiple people dying in a house, you usually think it's going to be carbon monoxide, like a gas leak or something.
My brain, murder suicide. But
but that usually comes with the idea that there's physical evidence. Like the bodies have been brutalized or something. These folks, that's not what happened. She was just decayed as fuck, and he was just dead as fuck. Well, I'm just glad it wasn't nothing sinister, because that would have been awful. Because you can't kill Lex Luthor, dog. That's my nigga.
Obviously you can. He dead.
Well, nobody killed him. He died. There's a difference.
Oh, yeah.
He just died from not being taken care of. That's fucked up. We shouldn't be laughing at that.
No, it's not funny.
R.I.P. to Gene Hackman, though.
R.I.P. white man.
So your boy's been doing a press tour. I know you haven't been feeling really good about this. He's not your favorite person at all. Andrew Schultz was just recently on Shannon Sharp's podcast. He's been on Breakfast Club, WWE. Like I said, he's promoting his Netflix special. And I think, do people do that now where they promote the special after it comes out? Like, is that a normal thing regarding comedy?
Yeah, not for comedy specifically. I don't know.
Because I know generally it used to be you promoted the movie before it came out, or whatever the product was before. But I've seen him do it afterwards a few different times. I know it's probably more to do with the fact that he's so more hands-on probably with his product. So you can't really promote it while you're doing all the other stuff, because you got to make, decisions on the cuts and things like that. But I just think that's an interesting way to do it. But in light of his criticism with Kendrick Lamar and Shits and Gigs podcast, do you think it's kind of weird that black media, and we can exclude Breakfast Club because Charlamagne's his man, do you think it's weird to see some elements of black media kind of bring him into the fold like that? Especially Shannon. I
think Shannon is setting himself up to just be messy. So this fits within like the prototype that he's trying to do for his show, because Schultz has had a couple viral moments as of late.
Yeah.
He just had Amber Rose on there. So I feel like this falls within that like wheelhouse. It's not too crazy to me. What other black media outlets has he done? Charlamagne, like, he's a donkey. So, like, of course, Andrew went on Charlamagne's platform, and I'm calling that Charlamagne's platform because it's his platform.
I mean, like I said, they do a show together, so that's not out of the wheelhouse for them to do anything together. I just thought it was interesting because I watched the interview. So when I was watching the interview, it felt like Schultz gives a really disingenuous interview in a way, because, and I don't know, maybe it's because he's explaining jokes, and that's where it makes it feel like this shouldn't be happening.
You shouldn't explain jokes.
It feels like, because it feels like it's just so disingenuous when a lot of the early conversations they were having. Because what he'll do is Schultz loves to do this thing where he takes two concepts that are void of each other and try to compare them in a way. Like so
you did with Doechii.
No, I was actually very concise with my criticism. But he'll do something like, so the conversation was about offending people with your jokes. And he tried to compare that to Shannon having a criticism of somebody's play on the field. And I think it's very clear that those two things are not the same. Because one person, you're taking a thought about a bias or stereotype about their people that may be offensive to them, or may hold their people back because it's a general consensus about them. And you're playing into that, and the other person is just literally watching a game and being critical of the sport. Like, I'm not saying like you couldn't make a play because you're white. I'm saying you just couldn't make the play. There's a difference between that. And to try to compare that, to try to find common ground, I get what he's trying to do, because it ended up working. Like, Shannon fell hook, line, and sinker to what Schultz was trying to do.
Shannon is always going to fall because he was a football player, not too smart.
But I mean, it's not his fault, because Andrew's shrewd. The way that he operates, the way that he'll try to find common ground with you, because that's what I'm saying. Like, even though I feel like it's a disingenuous comparison, it's not necessarily disingenuous when you're trying to find a connection with the person across from you. And when you do that, it becomes, now Schultz was interviewing Shannon. He's trying to talk about him and where he came from and how he felt with people, where we're supposed to be talking about you, Andrew. We're supposed to be asking questions about you. And you take over the interview. And he does that a lot. He does that on his show, of course, because that's what he's supposed to do. But when you see him going like Nelk Boys, he tries to do it with Joe Rogan, where he's trying to show like, I'm in control of the room. And I do that by breaking you down in a way that the audience can see after multiple playbacks, but in the real time, it probably doesn't feel like that.
I didn't really listen to this interview, but I caught a little bit of it in the beginning, and he did that in the beginning of the interview. Like Shannon is introducing him, and then Schultz like changes the topic, talking about the speech that Shannon gave, and talking about like how much that choked him up and blah blah blah, and it was so emotional to watch Shannon do that, and Shannon seems so full in his life, and I was like, he was just introducing you. Like, it's been less than 2 minutes into the interview.
Yeah, he does that. Oh, you got to be full to give other stuff. Like, that's what I'm saying. That shit is so cheesy, and it's just a way for like rich people to feel like.
It gives me that same vibe that like whenever Kevin tries to talk to people.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah,
yeah. It's
the same vibe.
That's good. I like that. That's because Kevin Hart was just on Breakfast Club doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Whenever Kevin tries to give a motivational speech, like I don't want to hear a motivational word come out of Kevin's mouth ever again. It seems very disingenuous, calculated,
hollow,
and yeah, just like you don't actually give a fuck. You just trying to have like another whatchamacallit brunch moment, Rock Nation brunch moment. Like, it's okay. We don't need to hear from you.
It feels like too, a lot of times from when I watch a lot of Andrew's content and it's somebody that he likes or respects, he tries to turn the conversation, even on his own channel, into like a circle jerk, where it just becomes like me a complimenting fest.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're talking about what I respect about you, and then they like he enjoys that amongst the people he sees as the elites.
Mm-hmm.
And then it doesn't get anywhere because even this, he wasn't just on black media. Like I said, he did Joe Rogan, he did Megyn Kelly, and just some of the stuff I feel like he advocates for in the long run is very like stupid, problematic shit. Like he was like supporting Trump talking about us annexing like Greenland and Canada. Like he felt like that was reinvigorating America, and that's getting people in a way that they feel pumped and good to be an American. I'm like, how do you feel good about being American when your president is talking about annexing a sovereign nation? Like that doesn't even make sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
How's that a galvanizing force? Like even with the whole, he was playing into the Gulf of America thing, and he really means this shit. Like when he did the Trump interview, like he means this shit where he feels as though this is a galvanizing force to be an American and that we should be getting behind. And to me, it just feels like you just want your taxes lowered. Like that's just.
Well, the weird thing about that, and I know that's not the point you're trying to make, but the weird thing about that to me is the people who are not like exactly pumped about being an American, Trump isn't gonna do it for them. Like if you're not already like, whoa, America, like Trump is not going to be the person who's going to make you proud to be an American. If anything, it's going to do the complete opposite. The people who are already proud of being American, like this hasn't changed anything for them.
And it's so like, and I get the base that hears that is not going to be as conscious as we are when we listen to that. But you're a 40-year-old man advocating for what essentially would be warmongering.
Mm-hmm.
And those are going to be 22-year-old men, 30-year-old men who are going to die in that process that you will not have to feel.
Not at all.
And then you act like that's something to get behind. Like, granted, I know you can hide behind he said he's going to do it economically and all that other stuff, but he's also heavily implied military force that potentially being used. It's not smart. It's just not smart. I don't think that people with this kind of pushing to the right, it feels so forced and fake. Like beforehand, when we had Bush and stuff, people just supported the general concept of being, this is your civic duty. And to see where we okay with like the outright like ass spreading of celebrity. No, it's insane. Like the way that we're so comfortable with celebrities and people like spreading their ass for even politicians at this point now. It's insane. Like that's, to me, I didn't grow up like that. Like if somebody supported either party publicly like that, you look like a doofus. And to see that people are so easily doing it now, and it's not even something that they can commonly get behind. Like, who cares if we own Greenland? But I can see a lot of people caring if women have the right to have an abortion. Like, that makes sense to me. So,
yeah, because they're a very what you would call like liberal country in general. Like it's
what I'm saying
over
is,
there is happy as shit.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is my point is when they complain about the points of the left will be like, hey, we want women to have safe and sometimes free and effective abortions. And it's like the right will be like, no, well, let's steal Greenland. Like, what? Why should we get behind stealing a country but not get behind making sure half of our citizens have access to a medical, like proper medical care in regards to the reproductive organs? It's, I get it. I can see a little gas from it, but it just bothers me so much how people can get behind this instead of just wanting to do the work and being critical of the details. Because again, I'm not saying Democrats or people on the left like are perfect. And again, I'm not saying
nobody's.
But what I'm saying is makes sense to certain things to get behind. And I just don't see how these guys can justify themselves to get on Trump's side like this in that manner.
I think you're probably analyzing it from like a point of like being able to critically think.
I mean, I don't think they think outside of their tax bracket.
No. So I don't, it's nothing other than like a very narrow viewpoint, and what fits in it and what doesn't. And that's it.
Yeah, I just miss back when our comedians and stuff, they just shitted on everybody and they didn't feel like they had to pick a side. They didn't have to dance for, a particular candidate and shit like that.
Because Schultz should be shitting all over Trump. He's a very easily shittable character. Like, he's hilarious.
But
for a comedian.
But when you sold yourself to him, you
can't criticize him. You can't make jokes about him. You can't poke fun of him.
Or if you do, you have to make it very clear that I'm playing, and then if he gets offended, you're going to apologize and all that. And I promise you, if he makes a joke about Trump and Trump feels some kind of way, we'll see him tuck his tail like he tells everybody else does for the people they care about.
He's been bent over already, so
yeah, they put the lube on him.
Maybe not.
They greased him up something nice,
like they did Druski, apparently, allegedly.
Hitting a nigga up with the Druski is sick. All right, so Lil Yachty, man, I gotta play this.
Lil Yachty was on Quinn Blackwell, I think, her cooking show. Let's play it because I have a point that I wanted to make specifically. But we
spent $100,000 on a trip to Disney once. How much have you spent on charitable causes this year? Let's start cooking these pancakes.
This year technically just started. So this year, it's hard to.
What about last year?
Well, last year, it's hard to gauge.
All right. So what about the year before last year?
Oh, well, that year, that's a good year. Yeah, it's just blurry. I be doing so much.
BLM? Since you want to be so black power?
BLM is a scam.
Clip that. Send it to the fucking news.
BLM was literally a scam. They had bought mansions, and you probably wouldn't know anything about it because you don't care about black people. So you don't follow black
I do care about black people. Look at my chocolate. You're mad.
It's a disguise.
You're mad. I think I'm literally the most pro-black.
So I'm glad that he went this far into that. Hold on.
Before, because the point I wanted to make before, I think it's really funny that he did that on Quinn's platform in the first place, because the joke that he made about her not caring about black people, that was not a joke. Like, Quinn is you could say that she's slightly like one of the whitewashed black girls. Black women are not a monolith. You can be whatever you want to be. But people would label her as one of the whitewashed black girls. Her audience is very white. And then Lil Yachty choosing to say that on her platform, knowing what her audience looks like and how they might take that and run with it, is extremely irresponsible, on top of him just genuinely being incorrect.
But then also the fact, like, I wouldn't have been mad if he just would have said BLM a scam and then just left it at that. But then, like, the qualifier afterwards being like, oh, you don't care about black. Nigga, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
She cares more about black people by not saying anything that she doesn't know anything about versus you spreading misinformation and lies.
Because I know the one thing that you probably watched was your country ass sat there and watched that weak ass Candace Owens interview documentary about it. And I'm pretty sure you couldn't actually perceive outside of the words that she was saying what actually was going on and what she was portraying, because she was misconstruing like she always does. And the main reason that this is so frustrating is because if you actually go into the Black Lives Matter and what they were doing, there was no fraud. So I can even prove there's not no fraud. So AP reported this. Fraud lawsuit against Black Lives Matter Foundation dismissed in California. This was in 2023 when this was dismissed. So it has been already clear what these people have been shown right here. It says, in dismissing the lawsuit, Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge Stephanie Bowick sided with the founders' lawyer, who argued that the local BLM activists failed to prove they were entitled to the raised funds, or that the foundation leaders had siphoned off millions of dollars of nefarious purposes among unproven allegations. What just people came to realize is especially when you watch the Candace Owens documentary, they were supporting a lot of LGBTQ programs, and there were also a lot of those people were being supported. So like even in the Candace Owens doc, she shows people who are part of those communities that the money went to, and it was all above board. It was all exactly what said was in the documents, or what they were doing with the money, they did with the money for these people. But because these people were gay, or they didn't identify in a way that Candace thought they saw fit, she tried to frame this as fraud or some type of waste. So if you think that it's a scam because it was going to gay people, salute. You're just a homophobe. But
you are. Yeah.
I'm just saying, but if you're trying to say the scam was being done, there was nothing here being done. There's nothing to show that that was the case. These are things that foundations do. That's not crazy. Any of this stuff that they're talking about here. Fraud is a real thing. I think people don't understand. Fraud and scam is basically when I say I'm going to do one thing and then I do something completely opposite. Mm-hmm. I say we're going to give money to a community and I take that money and put it in my pocket. Mm-hmm. They wanted this to be that these folks were, trying to profit off their own, but
that's not what was happening.
There's no proof of that, what was happening. Mm-hmm. And even when
I'm sad to say, I never really followed up with this story. I saw the campaign trying to vilify Black Lives Matter. All the news I saw was, and it wasn't from Candace Owens, all the news I saw was one specific leader in Black Lives Matter was like using the money for her own leisure and pleasure. That ended up not being true, so I was wrong about that. But when he brought this up, I was like, yeah, he should have changed his verbiage to the leaders of Black Lives Matter were scammers, but they weren't scammers. Nothing about Black Lives Matter was a scam. The leaders of Black Lives Matter were not scamming people. The movement wasn't a scam. I did see something though that I saw something, and I wish I saved it so I could credit the person who said this, but he said that Black Lives Matter was more effective when it was just a grassroots campaign with no leader, like no face at all. What do you think about that? I think he's right. I feel like these types of movements work a little bit better if there's no leader, no face, nobody to target, and it's just like decentralized, like protests.
But what people don't understand,
what needs to be centralized is the goal and the message and what's trying to get done. But I don't think that there specifically needs to be a.
But the people who are doing this were all had history and organization before, so this wasn't their first time doing that. These were things that they were already passionate about and working with. Mm-hmm. So like even right here it says in 2020-21, IRS filing showed.
Did you say 2020-21?
2020 to 2021.
Oh, okay.
IRS filing showed the Bowers firm received $2.1 million to provide operational support, including staff, fundraising, and other key services. That the lion's share of what the organization spent on consultants in that fiscal year. But local organizers failed to prove in court that either Bowers firm or their firm siphoned millions of dollars in fees from the donation funds, as their lawsuit alleged. So again, there wasn't any fraud here.
Mm-hmm. There was no fraud. And the Associated Press is a very reputable, non-biased, non-partisan, nowhere leaning source. That's the word I was looking for.
So yeah, that's what is disappointing when it comes to this Yachty shit, because you have the voice that you have and you've used it so recklessly, especially over the last few years. With the Meech, what's his partner name? Mitch. His partner Mitch, a lot of just the different things that was just going on in regards to, because he said other things kind of in line with this before, right? Where it's been in bad taste in regards to like racial
he doesn't
issues.
care about stuff like this, but most of the rappers don't. They don't satisfy when it comes to like when you ask them about issues having to do with black people, having to do with anything civil. A$AP Rocky has disappointed us time and time again. And then like the rappers are just usually disappointing.
The fucked up part was this was an easy moment to make you look good. She asked you about charities that you was donating for,
and instead of uplifting a charity or organization or a cause that you care about, you decided to shit on another organization, which I think shows a lot about Yachty's character. I think whenever he gets a chance to be positive, then he chooses the opposite. He's a shady bitch.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's
watching the clips from this interview in general. He was having fun with her and whatever, but I genuinely think Lil Yachty is shady as fuck. Like,
no, to me, he's very problematic overall, and he's an example in the worst way of kind of like how I was kind of describing like Kendrick. He's like the worst way that this could even pan out, because he'll use this language when it's convenient for him, but then when it's not, or when it doesn't benefit him,
what language?
The language of revolution in that manner. And that language
Lil Yachty has never presented himself
in this situation. You have to think about the context of what he's saying. He's calling this organization a scam. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to say that they are opposed to black people. Mm-hmm. When you use that kind of language, that is revolutionary language. That is resistance language. And for you to not be someone of that ilk, you're just using that to bring down actual black organizations.
This is the first and only time he's ever used revolutionary language. Lil Yachty is not that nigga when it comes to like talking about politics and things of that nature. Like, this is the first time that he's, to my knowledge, that he's done that. I think he should probably just stay away from that.
And you stupid niggas got to stop listening to Candace Owens. Or if you do, please Google some shit afterwards.
The only time I ever listened to Candace Owens was about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. That's the only time I was sat for one of her videos.
No, she can kill the white people though.
She ate that up.
When she chooses to go at white people, that's some of her best work.
I think again, her gossip work is great because it is, it's just gossip, and that everything is like not actually based on any fact.
Well, not all her gossip work, because calling that man the French prime minister's wife transgender is that's crazy gossip.
Okay, I was just celebrity things. When I say gossip, I mean celebrity,
crazy gossip.
Hollywood.
She made another documentary about it. Like she is full force in this.
Oh Lord! All right.
I'm just telling you, man.
Candace is a mess, man.
All right, so life is a labor of love. So let's keep building these moments together. And remember, your job is not your family. And the only thing you should be exploiting is these corporations and these fucking billionaires. Mm-hmm. Tell them what they need to do, baby.
Follow us on all of the social media at talk.fnf.tv on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you're currently on YouTube, give us a like, comment, subscribe. And if you're listening on one of the streaming services, then hit that download button for us, please. And thanks. Love you. Bye.
We out of here.